everybody. This is Janet Rando with 4 more exercises that are going to strengthen that total body. The first one I want to teach you today is a straight leg deadlift or stiff leg deadlift. It's very important that this is done correctly to minimize injury risk, just like any exercise. Okay? Common mistakes that I see people do are locking the knees, tucking the butt under, and rounding through the spine. This is a great exercise to strengthen that lower body for those who have knee injuries. They can't do squats and lunges, so we want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. The first thing that's going to influence this exercise is hamstring flexibility. So with any exercise, you want to make sure that you've done a little jog or some jumping jacks, something to get warm and get those muscles ready to move. Okay? The second thing, we want to make sure feet are hip width apart, shoulder blades are rolled back, nice and straight. Knees are soft. This is a straight leg deadlift. That doesn't mean locked knees. Okay? Knees are soft. The motion for this exercise happens at the hip joint. Okay? There should be no flexion and extension going on in that spine. So you want to make sure that you're sitting those hips back, pushing back, and you come forward as far as you can until you feel those hamstrings say, okay, that's as far as I'm going to go. Then right here, you're going to squeeze those hamstrings, squeeze those glutes, squeeze, initiate the motion, stand up tall, and squeeze at the top. Not an arch. Another mistake I see is people will get this part right and they come up and arch at the top. No arching, just a nice tight squeeze. With any exercise, you want to make sure that belly button is engaged and pulling in, supporting that spine. So let's talk about this. Sometimes people have a difficult time, again, with that hinging motion. So what I suggest is grab your weights, okay? Hug them in tight to your chest. Pretend that you're holding an infant in your arms, okay? Nice and tight, hugging that baby nice and tight and close. And you're going to hinge it forward. You can't drop that baby. So hold that weight tight. It automatically helps you push those hips back and behind you, keeping that back straight. Squeeze those glutes and hamstrings. Stand it up tight. All right? Hip hinge, squeeze, stand. You should be feeling this as you're doing that exercise. You're going to be feeling it in those hamstrings and glutes primarily. The quadriceps come into play a little bit as you're coming forward, controlling that motion. But most of that emphasis is on the posterior chain. All right, so if you're feeling it anywhere else, then you need to reevaluate. Am I hugging that baby tight enough? Am I sitting those hips back? If you're not sure, find that dressing room with that big mirror and practice. Take a look at your form, see what's going on. Once you get that hinge motion correctly, you can take those weights with your palms facing towards you, shoulder blades back. You're going to hinge, squeeze, lift, and you can add a little upright row at the top. Okay, so getting that upper body involved, making it a compound exercise, getting lots of bang for your buck. So stiff leg deadlift, add that upright row when you've got the hinge correct. I would say 8 to 12 reps on that exercise. All right, we're going to take it down to the mat. We're going to work our latissimus dorsi, our lat muscles right here. When you work out at home, you don't have a lot of equipment. Sometimes it's difficult to get those back muscles worked. And so this is a great way to do that. You can use a little bit of heavier weight on this exercise. So feet on the ground, knees bent, and take your weight. Okay, push through those heels, lifting those hips nice and tall. Arms are long, but elbows are soft. Bringing that weight overhead. You're going to squeeze from right here. Use those muscles. Squeeze and pull that weight right into your hips. Full range of motion. Concentrating on using those lat muscles to pull and lift that weight. And as you get into it, you're going to realize, okay, that weight is way too light. I need to double up here. So lift up, overhead, pull. Those lat muscles are really big and strong. Use those to pull that weight all the way in to those hips. All right. Again, on that one, I would say 8 to 12 reps, depending on how heavy your weight is. If you can go 12 reps, if you can go 20 reps, and it's still not feeling it, your weight is too light. You want to increase that weight and really focus on feeling that muscle right there work to pull it up and over. Okay, next one, flutter kicks. Great one for that transverse abdominis. Okay, laying back. All right, our goal is to keep that back pressed into the mat. Okay, you have the option to lift your head and shoulders and hold it there, or you can lay it down, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Now again, the closer your legs are to the ground, the harder it will be. And our goal, remember, is to keep that back pushed down. So if that means that those legs come up here to do it, then go for it. It's a tiny, teeny, tiny straight leg. Kick, 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 kick. Okay, you can bring it down close to the ground. Whatever works best for you, as long as that back stays pressed in. Okay, it is not a floppy thing here. Those knees should not bend. It's not a great big, sometimes I see this. Not the same thing. You just want teeny tiny little flutter kicks, okay? This one, because you're moving so quickly, is hard to count. So I suggest 30, maybe 45 seconds on the timer. See how many you can get in. Flutter kicks, great for that lower abdominal and deep transverse abdominal muscles. Okay, we're going to flip it over. We can't forget push-ups. They are my favorite. I love them. They're such a great exercise. This one today we're going to work on is a narrow push-up, really emphasizing the tricep, okay? So hands are going to be directly under those shoulders and elbows glued in nice and tight by our side, okay? Tricep push-up. All right, no, we don't want those elbows to come out. We're going to glue them in tight. This one is a little bit tougher. We're using a little smaller muscle group, and so if we need to, you can absolutely grab that bench, okay, or chair, or the back of the couch, whatever you need. Again, shoulders right over those hands, belly button pulled in, hips tucked under, everything squeezing nice and tight, keeping those elbows close to our side. Tricep push-up, straight line from head to toe. All right, I'm going to say shoot for 8 to 12 push-ups if you can. These exercises, put them in a series, repeat that series up to 4 times as desired. You get a total body workout, building those posterior chain muscles, getting yourself super strong. You got it, you're worth it, make it happen, have a fabulous day.